I watched Call Me Bae last night and
I don't know why I have to have a mic. Say stupid things.
seriously to a point.
क्योंकि कोई और तो ले ही नहीं रहा तो आप
So throw people off. I just laugh.
As someone who's perfect.
Incredibly gorgeous. Just don't talk about it anymore.
Always call you pretty. Why are you pointing to me? मेरे साथ ऐसा कभी नहीं है.
I mean, obviously, also kho gaye also, but again, this is I think by that also,
You know, and you're just like, dude, you know you did something here.
then the entire Kiara wedding thing. Like,
That's a spoiler.
I watched
Don't say
it.
that.
I watched it.
But it was.
Oh, I thought you stammered right now. Hi, this is Bhavna, and you're watching India Today. Well, in the show Call Me Bae, they say viral is temporary, but hard work is permanent. And there's one thing, if there's one thing that I can vouch for everyone on this panel, is that they stayed true to that dialogue, because everyone has been hustling in their own way. And I think congratulations. I really love the trailer. I have watched a few episodes. Absolutely, I'm loving this entire ride. It's so unserious and funny, and I love that about it. But you know, another dialogue in the show which really struck a chord with me is when they say, why couldn't you be perfect? And I think that is something that all of us dabble with in real life and on social media. There is this inherent need to be perfect everywhere. Can I ask all of you, in any order, when was the last time you thought you had this urge to be perfect for someone in family or on social media? Ananya, let's start with you.
I don't know why I have to have a mic. I feel it every day. Today also, before I came onto stage, I was like, I have to say the right things. You know, it's called me Bae, I am Bae. What do I say? I'm like constantly thinking like I have to be perfect and say the right things. So every day I feel
And how
like
do you deal with that pressure?
I just say stupid things. Just to throw people off. I just laugh. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyone else? When was the last time you thought that you had that urge to be perfect? Or that
2013.
Exact. Tell us the exact date also.
No, I remember this one. I'll tell you why. Because I've had very great friends in life who have humbled me way too much. And because of them, I realized that there's no such thing as perfect. So very early on in life, I realized कि ये होता नहीं है, ये सब myth है.
But what happened in 2013?
They were very rude to me. They were like, ये क्या तू perfection के पीछे भाग रहा है? कुछ नहीं होता है ये.
So hard
Yeah.
to stop being perfect.
Yeah. I said बनना ही नहीं है. बनना ही नहीं है. छोड़ो.
That was Independence Day.
That was true independence for you, actually. Anyone of you?
I think, I mean, I for a long time in life I used to take myself very seriously, but now I
You stop
don't give.
From today.
I don't take myself seriously at all.
But I think that is needed to survive in this industry, right? I think that is needed to survive in this industry where you start taking yourselves seriously to a point.
क्योंकि कोई और तो ले ही नहीं रहा तो आप
Honestly, 2012.
I don't have to worry about these things.
You do, yeah.
As someone who's perfect.
Okay.
I'm not in your little whatever the
Did you take some dialogues from her for Bae?
Now I should.
season 2.
Niharika.
Oh, my doormat told me that my proportions are all wrong. And
What?
so then you think about it, and then you actually wonder, and then you start like asking people, and then your friends again start being really rude to you, and they say, "Shut up! You're like incredibly gorgeous. Just don't talk about this
I
anymore."
always call you pretty. Why are you pointing to me?
No, so yeah,
You
that
should show
I
her
guess.
off in a bizarre
I guess.
way.
But then you also like think
Just don't
about
pay
like, I feel like if I did those things to my face, I feel like I would become more like less distinct, and I think that would take away a lot from
Your
the
individuality.
character that my face brings.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. Okay, that's.
Luckily, as someone behind the camera, I don't have.
You don't have to
I
face
don't go
this,
for
right?
perfection.
Your pressure starts now once the
Absolutely.
show
I was just going to say
releases,
that I put a lot of pressure on my work, and that's where I try to be perfect every time, and it'll never happen. But that's where the pressure is.
But that's, I mean, you got a fresh nose job for today. You came in, this is new.
Not sure what to say.
She just threw you up.
I am so this thing about my nose, and now she's got it.
I
I was your weak link.
You were the
Drama.
For Colin, it was 2024.
one. Trauma begins now.
Right after Independence Day.
But you know, Colin, what I like about the entire direction is the fact that although it is very self-aware and unserious in parts, there are also some issues which have been handled very sensitively, but it doesn't really hint, it doesn't get too much, because you know that the show's format is not something which is supposed to be like that. I think it's a very difficult balance to attain as a director as well, because these are issues that are not frivolous. These are important issues. You want to do justice to the issue while not taking away from the show's concept. How did you attain that?
I'm so glad you pointed that out, because I think achieving that tone of the show
Yeah.
was very, very important to me. But I have to give credit to the writers. You know, it was in the script, the way it was written, but I always had to maintain that balance. You know, but I think you know, we've learned from so many great directors, and I took all that experience on and approached the show like that. I mean, I'm glad that you
But
pointed that out.
were there scenes or were there phases where you felt like, okay, I don't know what is too much or too less?
No,
Because
all the
you're
time.
you're sort of like dealing with very serious issues. at
Yes,
some
all the
point.
time, because also, you know, sometimes when you're reading something, you read and it's a funny line and then there's a serious line.
Yeah.
But when there are actors and when you're supposed to light the scene a certain way, they're standing in a certain way, their body language, and then you're saying something really important, and you know, you're constantly juggling in your mind. But I think we all have an inherent worldview and a filter, and we know that even if I say something really serious at this point, after a joke, it will fly and people will accept it, and I hope they do.
Yeah, I think it stays with me. The reason why I can point it out is because of that. So
glad.
kudos, that was well done.
Thank you.
Ananya, your character Bae, because it's such a, you know, the way, like you said, even during the press conference, that you needed to have that sense of abandonment to play, because there are certain, you're talking to a bag. I mean, I'm sorry. You're talking to a bag, and when I'm watching, I'm just like, what is this? You know, but I want to know, what does it take for an actor to pull off such scenes
Yeah, you
without
want to
really
know
like
this,
cracking
yeah.
up? I think it takes a lot.
You just have to completely believe something. You know, for me, this is something that I don't talk to. I mean, I think people
Yeah.
may think I do talk to my bags, but Ananya does not.
People
speak
might
to her
actually
bags.
believe you
I
know
talk to my
that,
shoes,
right?
but not my bags.
You
But-
talk to your
so-
shoes?
I'm joking. But
Listen, after watching you as Bae, I was just like, believe it.
no, but I'm saying that you just it's something that's far away from my personality, and it was so much fun to do. Like, you know,
Yeah.
where do you get to do this sort of stuff? And you have to just believe it fully. You have to, as a character, you have to fully believe that she's a girl who can't really talk to anyone. I think you have to also get the backstory behind
Yeah.
it. She doesn't just simply talk to her bag. She feels like she doesn't have people around her who really understand her or listen to her. You know, she doesn't feel heard.
Yeah.
And that's something that gives her comfort. When you start putting logic behind it and,
Yeah.
you know, kind of creating like, okay, this is why Bae is the way she is, then it doesn't seem as funny. Yeah.
Yeah, but also one thing which I could relate, I mean, I could sense a bit of Ananya in Bae was when you talk about the no filter aspect. I think you are also
Yeah.
someone like that.
Yeah.
And she has gotten into a lot of trouble because of that. When was the
Yes.
last time you were in trouble because of your no
When was
filter
our last
attitude?
interview? I'm trying to think. Probably then. I must have said something.
Not with me,
I've
for
been
sure.
really good lately, though. But I don't want to jinx it or anything. But I've been.
Is it a
pretty
conscious
out
choice,
of-
though?
I think I've been out of trouble. I've been good. I've been out of trouble lately.
Let's drop a gem today.
No, it's coming. I feel like it's coming out of me. I've been
Have
good
some
so
time.
far. I'm fine now.
Vihan, I think your character is something that I found the most funniest. Tell me, how do you sort of pull off such roles where you and not crack up in most of the scenes?
So, I mean, I think a lot of the cracking up happened when I was reading. So I'm like, okay, this is hilarious. Because you see it in your head and you understand what's happening. And then when you so I had a lot of discussions with Colin about this, and full credit goes to him, because he said, look, this is the tone of the show. This is the vibe. And it's a reality for him. He doesn't think it's funny because it's his daily life, right?
Correct.
It's not Elon Musk for him. It's Elon Chacha. You know what I mean? And if you have friends or parents or uncles or aunts who are very prominent, if you grow up with them, you don't see them with the same kind of awe, and you don't see the irony in the situation.
Correct.
So I think for me, I just committed completely to the fact that this guy has grown up in a certain way, and this is his reality, and that's all he knows. And then when you're on set and if you crack up once and then you go back into it and then Colin's like, please do your job. And I'm like, okay.
Which is your favorite dialogue though? There are too many, I guess.
So I put this dialogue in called, it said, just because you're from IIM doesn't mean I can't fire you.
Yeah, that's true.
And I thought it was really funny because IIM is like the best institution in India and he's like using IIM graduates.
It just shows the privilege, right? Like,
Yeah.
he can hire someone from IIM to
tie
sort
his
of,
tie for him.
yeah.
But I must say, I must add here that this line, Vihan improved in his audition, and I retained it in the show.
Oh, yeah.
So it just showed that he just got the character, because in an audition you get one scene.
Yeah.
You know, but he read that scene, he made it his own, and I could see a thinking actor, because he added
Yeah.
a dialogue which I retained in the final show.
And did you always think Gurfateh also as Neil or like?
नहीं, मैं तो बहुत बाद में आया।
नहीं ऐसे बात नहीं है पहले उसने एक रोल रिजेक्ट किया था okay I went to him right in the beginning okay
What was he?
But,
what was he supposed to play? Like what did you?
Supposed to be Bae.
yeah
Actually, we all auditioned for
We all auditioned for Bae and we got
no but you know I'm a big Gurfateh fan. I love how he acts.
Oh my God.
And so I went to him with a role and he said no, you know, and then I went to him with Neil, which is actually something Gurfateh may be more in real life than he is on screen.
Okay.
You know, and I thought that was very interesting, playing against the type, and I thought he can bring in the necessary depth that character needs, and I think it was a good challenge for him.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you agree?
I mean, yeah. I think it was very interesting because I was looking for something which was easy and which not easy in a sense of to do,
Yeah.
but like just like easier on screen to look at, and then like a softer character, positive, and someone with a certain kind of chemistry with someone on screen which is not jarring and dark.
Correct.
So which was very interesting to play, and of course, it was a ball of a time on set. So very different from everything else I've done. So yeah.
True. Are you also like your character Neil, who is completely, social media non-savvy, who doesn't know anything about
नहीं
social
ऐसा नहीं
media?
है, but I mean,
silent.
I have brought myself to be that, but I think I'm more closer to him in terms of
Say
they
That
won't
green
believe it.
flag
Yeah,
energy.
Yeah, I think I a lot of girls might disagree, but I think I believe it.
As long as you believe it. That's
yeah.
True. I mean, you have to believe in it first for anyone else to believe.
That's really self-aware of you, man. Like, yeah.
अब इतने लोगों ने बोला है.
Varun, I think your character says that pata nahi log like
Good
people
looking
who are
लोगों को
good
देखकर,
looking,
हाँ.
they don't take them seriously
Yeah,
and they
yeah.
think they are dumb. Man, did
No,
you
लोग
also,
मुझे like people take me seriously
yeah,
all
has
the
that
time.
happened to you really?
No, people take me seriously all the time. हाँ, मेरे साथ ऐसा कभी नहीं हुआ.
I mean, obviously, इतना चौड़ा, इतना लंबा, you have to take him seriously.
No,
You
that's
can't
what I
like,
know.
"Oh,
It
this
has happened
guy."
to you as well, right? How do you process that though? Especially when you know that good looks is such an important part of being in this industry. But also you want people to sort of take you seriously and
Yeah.
not look beyond this. So initially I'm sure that was a challenge. How did you sort of cross that road?
She's really flattering you, huh?
I don't know how to respond. I can't take compliments.
He's very shy.
I think this year has been lucky for me where I have done 3 different characters, and every character has been different than the first one.
Yeah.
So I think now it's beyond the good looks, and people are seeing me in different characters. So वो sideline हो गया. अभी लोगों को लगता है कि हाँ थोड़ा बहुत तो आता है इसको. जो कर रहा है ठीक ही कर रहा होगा.
I'm sure, and after this, I think that is only going to grow
I really
more and
hope
more.
that.
Yeah. Niharika, your character is also very interesting, very determined, I would say, in what she wants. And also because you're playing a journalist, I think we have all been there at one point where we had these goals that ye saal mein itna karna hai, and after certain years we want to be this and that. Are you really that person in real life as Niharika, where you have these set goals and you really are in pursuit of those goals so hard that you really compromise on everything
No,
else
not
in
at all.
life?
Not at all. I have a really full life and work. Thankfully, like a few years ago, I realized that I can't draw all my self-worth from work.
Yeah.
So I've really cultivated a very healthy life outside of work. And I sometimes I believe in the philosophy that the thing that's meant for you, people that you're meant to work with, if you're just like doing your best wherever you are and like you're focused on the moment, then I feel like everything else will align. People will find you. Like the people who want you will come to you. So honestly, I used to really like want something really hard, but it was just like exhausting after a point in time. And then you realize that you don't have control over anything. You really don't. I mean, you only have control over like your audition, and then once it's out there, it's out there. I mean, there are so many factors that can go. I mean, there are many a slip between the cup and the lip. So yeah, I feel like I've always been a floater. I like flowing through things, meeting people, working with people I align with their vision, and yeah, that's it.
Right. Ananya has the same question. Like she said that she stopped after a certain point seeking self-worth from just one thing that she does, especially work. And all of us, especially in today's time, derive a lot of self-worth from from our work. And for you, because your work is in public eye, it necessarily also extends to what people are thinking about you. It's a mechanism where you can sort of filter that thing out.
I think not when it comes to my work. I think I still derive a lot of my validation and my self-worth. And I think that's just the phase that I'm in right now. And also it's the kind of work that I'm doing. I'm putting myself out there a lot more. I'm taking risks. I'm doing something different. So a lot of my self-worth right now and people's opinions and their criticism or their feedback matters a lot to me, especially when it comes to my work. But I think everything else, I'm not listening to anyone. But my work right now, a lot of it, my self-worth depends on that.
But how do you sort of filter that out for yourself though? Because the comments sometimes can get too much also, especially with work.
Yeah, but now it's been 6 years and it's been happening to me from the start. Now I'm just like, I've developed a thick skin and it doesn't affect me as much.
Okay. Lisa, because you have a career where you're dabbling between music and acting both, I think अगर यहाँ से वो सुकून नहीं मिलता है काम से, तो you can
Sukoon
find
is
it.
the name of one of my songs. Well done.
That is, so you can find it in acting and vice versa. Does it work like that for you, or are you so passionate about both the aspects that it affects you deeply?
I mean, you nailed it.
Because I don't think you can like, there's no right or wrong or a balance.
No, I think everything is an extensive of me as a creative person. Whether I'm singing or if I'm writing a song or if I'm learning a scene, and you know, whatever that challenge is, I think as long as it's creative, my mind is always going. I'm excited to do it. And every new thing I expand into, my only job is to give it my best and put in the proper work. Like everything in my life has taken a long time.
Yeah.
You know, like even with music, it was 11 years of putting out songs before I got discovered. It was
11 years.
Yeah, it was 6 years of auditions before Call Me Bae. So it takes time, and it's just effort and practice and getting better and better at it. So I'm just excited that I get to do any type of creative thing that I want, and you know, hope for the best and hope that people like it.
Colin, what did you? She said 6 years before she got this. What did you see in her to say that okay, fine, she is fit for this part?
You know, I was actually very pleasantly surprised by Lisa's audition because she was already doing music for the show. She was already singing, and she never told me that she's going to sort of send in this audition sneakily. So मैंने जब play किया, I was like, this is Lisa, and it's one of those characters that was slightly tough to cast for, actually. You know, I wanted someone strong yet like to bring in this fresh energy, and you know, obviously there's not a lot revealed in the trailer about her character, but she sort of emerges in the latter part of the show and as a very strong character, but she nailed it. And you know, I think she has a really bright future in acting.
Wow.
And we love her singing anyway. And as a creator, musician, you know, so looking forward to everything that Lisa is doing actually.
Lovely. You know, Ananya, for you, I think Bae as a character, I mean, on the surface, everyone will look at her and be enamored by the gloss and her no filter attitude. But at the core, you also sort of touch upon the vulnerabilities really beautifully. And I think I would agree when Karan says that this is by far your best performance. Also Kho Gaye also, but again, this is, I think, by
That also.
I mean, I can't really negate that. That was also a wonderful performance. But I think this is yet another like really great performance from you. But how do you sort of make sure that Bae, while she is unserious, I mean, I don't think the audience is supposed to take her that seriously, but also vulnerability needs to be seen, and and it's all very subtle. Like the loneliness is not on your face, like you can't really, it's not spelled out so much, but you can see that everything is a result of that one feeling. She was always that neglected child. And again, I think the undercode is the privilege, but privileged people can also feel certain things. It's not exclusive to just people who are sort of from the not so privileged class. How do you balance?
I think firstly it's about acknowledging it yourself.
Yeah.
I've always been open about it. I've always been the first one to say that I have come from a privileged life and I've lived my life in a sort of bubble before I started working. So I think the first step is acknowledgement, and then after that, I think Bae's nuances and her vulnerability is not something that I'm trying to shove into people's faces. It's something that you just feel as an audience, and that'll be a big win for me if that's something that people take away. Because on the surface and generally the tone of the show is a lot of fun, and we want people to feel light and happy and warm. And if they do leave with a message and they leave with a sort of love for any character, then that's a win for everyone. But it's not something I'm trying to like push into people's faces.
Yeah.
It's something that you just have to feel.
How much time did it take for you to get the sur of the character pretty well? Because
I think I was born.
No, I was coming to that. Like I feel like when we look at you in real life as well, it seems like an extension of your personality. But was it really, or like?
I mean, I'm not that. Maybe I don't know. Okay, maybe I am. But it was just something that I was playing with, and I had a lot of fun. It's like my andar ka keeda that I've wanted to bring out, but no one was letting me bring it out. But then Colin's like, you have 8 episodes to just behave like this, and I'm like, thank you. So it's just something from inside I've really been dying to do.
I think she had a lot of fun with the role.
I'm sure, I can see that.
You have to understand that she was coming from very, very serious directors. Like she had done a film with Shakun and with Arjun and with Vikram Motwane and with, everyone. And then she came here and I'm like waiting, and she's like...
Actually, the first day I was very subtle, surprisingly. And Colin's like, yahan thoda ham karna padega. I was like, okay.
I'm the only
You just
director to
gave
tell
me the
Ananya
liberty I
Panday.
wanted.
Wait, no, honestly, I read the script and I was just like, how do you do these lines? Like, how do you read Bae convincingly? And then she came in for the reading and she did it, and it was so funny, and I totally saw a character, So it's not easy to play those
And
that
her
part.
improv is killer.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
See,
there's
all good things.
I feel perfect now.
Join the club. Were you also like shooting for these other films while you were shooting for this?
No.
Or this was like a separate schedule altogether? Yeah, because I would then imagine how you would go from being that
Sometimes
serious
you
and
have
like
to, but I think luckily the way it was plotted out, I finished Vikram sir's film. Vihan and I both actually finished Vikram sir's film like 10 days before we started Bae. Yeah.
Okay, that must have helped build that chemistry as well at the
It was
beginning.
easier. I mean, different relationship
yeah.
in both films, both the show and the film. But it was just easier to have her on set. I was like, oh, back to Ananya on set. It's great. Like, I get it.
But usually shows talk about bro code. I'm so glad finally we have hashtag Behen-coded because that is amazing. I want to know from y'all, what is that Behen-code for? What does that mean for y'all? How has that that sisterhood, celebrating that sisterhood with it?
I think like supporting each other's dreams, being incredibly honest with one another when you feel like someone's fucked up. Like you don't abandon them, but you like straight talk to them, and you're just like, dude, you know you did something here, right? And I think just like believing in the other person and always being there. Like my best friend stays in Delhi, and like I know I can call, like we won't speak for a month, but the moment I call her, like she'll pick up, and I can even like just be sobbing or just be silent on the phone, and she'll just be like doing her chores. So I think it's just being there. What do you say?
Sure. I think just the ability to really be yourself. That is a no judgment zone, and just giving each other the courage to just speak up. Yeah, that's important.
Sharing resources, I think, is another big one. I think like professionally, bro codes are there in industries that, men are sharing knowledge and resources, but not to everyone else.
Absolutely.
So what the show does a really good job of showing is that the girls have a great dynamic as, one block. Then, my character works with them as well to sort of accomplish something bigger. So it's just making sure that we rely on each other as women with as many resources as we have to push each other forward.
Yeah.
Right. Was it a conscious decision to have those sort of sweet moments where you're emulating Lake Como. Of course, the wedding happens there. Then the entire Kiara wedding thing.
Oh,
like,
that's a spoiler. Huh? Like, I think what the show does, and what the attempt of the show is to obviously like reference pop culture, you know, reference pop culture and this thing. Not to say that we love all these reels. Like, I was weeping when I saw Sid and Kiara's wedding. I loved it. So, and if I get a chance to recreate it, why not, you know?
And the budgets were there for comedy.
Yeah, we were making FOMO, right? We shot in
listen,
Lake
that didn't look like Lake Como at all, please. I watched
Don't say
it.
that.
I watched it.
But it was.
But what?
Yeah. I saw it.
No, but
But
I
yeah.
really enjoyed it.
yeah, I really enjoyed it because I went into it thinking that okay, fine, let's see how it is going to be. I wasn't prepared that it is going to be like such. I had an amazing time on.
I'm excited for you to watch the remaining
I
episode.
mean, I'm not finding the right word right now.
We get it, we feel your
Fantastic.
Thank you.
As
No, but I feel like your unserious image of the show will change in the last one.
I know that because
Yeah.
I have
You
only
watched
watched the 4
the
episodes,
Yeah.
and I think now is when it will
shit
get
goes
more
down.
serious
Yeah.
with the entire journalistic part. Because abhi tak to journalism mein maine
Exactly.
jo dekha hai, I'm just like, okay guys, I mean they're really poking fun at us, but
No, वो तो होता रहेगा. वो
मतलब थोड़ा बहुत reality है अभी तो कुछ बोल नहीं सकते हो आप.
acknowledging it is the first step.
See, we are also self-aware. Colin, we are also self-aware, right? Like
This
it's
is
steps.
material for season 2, basically.
Well, I'm sure season 2 is of course in the pipeline because this
अगर
is going
hit
to
हो
do
जाए
well.
show तो definitely बन
I'm
जाएगा.
sure it will. So now there's this one section, right? Story, and die. So let's do that
We're
with
the
you all.
worst at this.
Okay. Okay, we'll just do a one round, which is like in anything. I watched Call Me Bae last night, and
It reminded me of.
The best time I've ever had.
So I'm going to tell all my friends about it.
And do a watch party with them
And we are going to start shoot for season 2, hopefully.
In the next couple of months.
Because people really enjoyed it.
oh, I thought you'd stammer right now.
I knew what I had to say.
Ivana, that's
Yeah, I knew what I had to say. I was like, I'll just
because
end
it's
it.
just poking fun. Very good. But thank you so much, guys. I hope that the show does really well
It
for
will.
you all.
It will.
And I like the positivity. Like she says, I'm awesome, I'm
Manifesting.
flossom, I am
here to slay.
Yeah.
Seize the day.
She's, I mean, we have done 3 or 4 versions of it, so I can't recollect one.
There are 3 more.
But I think I had a fun time, and I know that the audience is also going to have an equally fun time when they watch it. Thank you so much for all this
Thank you.
entertainment and
Thank
all
you.
the best.